help. Any questions on that stuff?
Yeah, first just want to say thank you for this walkthrough. I think Pat, in your post about this, having a screenshot of this view in addition to the video, I think would be really helpful. Um, and just makes me look at, as you know, Connor, as you and Parker and Jing are optimizing here on the back end. It's like, okay, we use this for this and that for that. You know, it's like each LLM as necessary. And it feels important to be able to communicate that to users as well. So I'm just grateful for, again, this. I'm like, okay, this needs to be out in the world. People need to know how we're using this. And I've got two questions. How does this affect when we say the chat is powered by, GPT-4? I'm guessing that is what we use for the chat. We just use, Claude for this, Hugging Face for that, etc. Is that right?
Yeah, so this doesn't change anything with the chat, right? So it's still using GPT-4 for private and whatever the user wants to use for boss chat. That all still is true. The only thing that's changed here really is that we use Claude for that full document summary, right? That's the only time we're not using GPT in the upload process. We still use GPT 3.5 to generate the AI tags. So that's still a separate call to OpenAI that we use. We just wanted to take advantage of Claude's very large context window so that we could pass as much of the document in as possible for that full summary.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. But I think
Yeah.
Like our conversation with Mike a little bit, but just conversations with users who are more on the technical, like Pierre, very excited about using different LLMs.
Yeah.
I think they like knowing exactly how all of this is working, because it looks like, oh, I'm choosing Claude. It's like, yeah, that's true for the chat. And is how we're using Hugging Face for vectors. I think just adds another layer of depth, understanding, like, to the complexity of, what supports the whole system.
Yeah, it's a good point. And adding an option to choose the model that does this summary could be interesting too. Like there may be some organizations that maybe they don't want to use Claude, right? Or they aren't allowed to use Claude for whatever reason, right? So that would block them essentially from uploading content in this use case. So allowing them to switch that on or off could be a good option. Just means that we have to like account for that when we do the summary and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
One idea.
Maybe something. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, very quick
Okay.
thing to answer Erica's questions. Let me share let's just put in the Connor's question in more short format. So in the high level, we have two workflow. One is report generation workflow, which Connor is showing here. Kudos, Connor, for creating this graph. Fantastic. So there's a separate workflow called chat workflow, which has another thing, and in which we have the model switch logic. So it's a separate workflow for that. But we do have that capability. And kudos, Connor, for generating. It made me realize that we should also create a chat for that workflow. Yeah.
I have one scratched on a notepad somewhere in the office, so I'll have to.
Yeah, start by starting. And then this is a very quick question, which is when you say tokenize, I'm guessing that means breaking text up into token size pieces. Is that about
correct? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And Jing, so a yes and on what I heard you say, which is what I'm hearing from Erica, is that we need to do a good job of communicating this out into the world and specifically to users that really want to understand this.